Da-da. Oh, wait. There. Aha.
Good morning. Welcome to the Sun Dragon Sideshow.
Yeah, leave me anything to say. That's okay. The Adventures of Liz and Rebecca.
Hey, I left you something to say.
You did. And that's okay, because I usually talk more anyway, so. Hi, good morning. We are back from break. Hello, Happy New Year. Whoa.
It's 2023. Yay.
Woo-hoo. Hello, I'm Rebecca. I'm the owner of Sun Dragon Art and Fiber in rainy but warm North Carolina.
I'm Liz. I'm the minion there. We're in Brevard, North Carolina.
What did I say?
You just said in North Carolina.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
I'm having problems. I'm out of practice.
My glasses are
I
dirty.
really
I'm like, why is everything fuzzy?
I really thought I said, oh well. I was already planning 2 steps ahead on what I was going to say, and that's why we have no show notes, because when I try to think ahead, it doesn't work. Probably don't recognize me because my hair. Look at this.
She's got all pre-pandemic hair.
I do. I feel like it's pre-pandemic. I'm a little coffee and congested, and I've taken 2 COVID tests, and it's not COVID. But I think I caught something from travel, so I'm going to be wearing this a lot today to make sure I don't spread my germs around. But we're back.
Yay.
Ta-da! And I have my coffee because I haven't finished it yet. So, yeah. Anyway, you have
done?
I did, and I think the grand scheme of things, and we're going to talk about that today. And I have stories, and we have so many things to talk about. But since I've this is day 2. I washed my hair yesterday. For some people, this is normal. For some people, it's weird. I wash my hair about every 3 days. And this is my attempt to preserve whatever curl there is. I have new curly products coming that my sister uses, which should make it really super curly. So but the product said, they sent me an email in prep for them coming saying, oh, one way you can preserve your curls is wrap them up in a silk scarf. And I've been doing, when I had longer hair, the pineappling it, you know? And right now, if I pineapple, it's like, not all of it goes. It's like, it's too short. So I was like, oh, I'll try the scarf thing. And I tried to wrap a silk scarf around my head. It was awkward. And I was hot.
Silk will do that.
So it didn't last all night. So this is what I'm left with. But, Anyway. That's my first story of the episode. You have different hair, too.
I do. I got home from work on Friday when we closed the shop, and I decided I'm going to pull my hair out and give my head a week's break.
You let your head breathe
I
for
let
a
my
week?
head breathe for a week, and it was weird. And keep in mind, my hair is like that long. All over my head.
Anyone who watched our surprise New Year's Eve episode,
yeah,
you had a little hat on, but she didn't have the hair. So
yeah, and so then I spent yesterday and the day before putting it all back in.
Can you say that again, because I didn't hear you?
I spent yesterday and the day before putting it all back in.
I feel like my dad when I do that. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I mumble.
You're understated, which is funny because she's not the quiet sister. No. But feel free to,
Yeah.
This guy needs help. Anyway, yeah. So you spent the last 2 days putting it back in, and what's the difference in color? Would you say from your holiday hair to this?
To this is like an ice blue.
I thought it was white when she was showing me on FaceTime.
Dark
but it is
brown.
Mm-hmm. I think it's showing up on the camera as the ice blue. That's nice. Yeah.
So
it's kind of like an icy forest. I like it. It's so long.
It is.
I'm so short now, and you're so
I'm
long.
like, woohoo, I got my hair back. Because
the hairdresser was like, now you can stop putting it in that awful bun you came in. Because I had like a top knot when I went in to get my hair cut, and she's like, oh, please don't. I said, I hear you saying that that's bad for my hair. And she was like, oh, yeah. So, but whatever, I actually was able to do something to keep it out of the water in the shower today. It looks cute to try to put it in a clip, but like the bottom part did. Y'all don't need to hear about this.
Short hair it drove me nuts. Like I was like, I miss my hair. So.
This is a little shorter than when she first cut it because she did things so it wasn't as curly. You know, hairstylists do that, which is cool. It looked good, but yeah, it's short. I kind of love it, but it's short. Ooh, and here's the hair I cut off. I showed this on camera.
Yes.
On our surprise episode, but for anyone who didn't see that, I cut off 8 or 9 inches, and she had to put them in these little ponytails because I'm going to donate them. So here's all the hair that was cut off. Honestly, I feel like it was longer than this, but she had to trim stuff up, so I was even longer, you know. But this is what she cut off. And someone asked, where am I donating it? Because it wasn't long enough for Locks of Love, but it's got the fairy hair in it, which is really, she's like, that's going to be kind of cool if they can use the fairy hair. It's called Planet Hair Wigs on Facebook, and it's in Virginia, and it's a woman who makes children's wigs for kids with cancer and alopecia. And she can take things that are at least 8 inches. So some of them from the front of my hair may not be quite 8 inches, but that helped me decide how much to cut off because when I heard I could donate it, it's long enough that if I could actually donate it somewhere, like if I needed to cut off the 12 inches to donate somewhere, I might have super chopped it, because that was a possibility that was raised. So I still need to send this. Like I got sent home with it, so because I have better mailers to send it than at my sister's house. But, yeah, so there's that. I'll try not to leave that out and freak out the customers today. So, maybe we can go through what we did over break, and then if there's time, I'll regale you with travel stories. Because if I start with that, first of all, we're doing more of the what I said I'd never do, or not too much of, which is talk about non-knitting stuff more than the knitting stuff. And crocheting stuff. And then you have a chance to talk. Because otherwise I'll take up the whole episode, you know? So, I feel like the lighting, I think the phone is trying to compensate for how dark it is outside, because it just went, wah! And made us seem brighter. Which, that's fine,
yeah,
as long as it's not, outside. As long as it's not giving anyone, fits to watch the lighting change, because the phone is trying to change it, not us. So what did you do over break?
Worked on a little bit. It's not
what is that?
Separation. It is a sweater. It's sweater number 6 that we did. I showed off right before we left, Thursday before we left.
Oh, I'm like, you're doing 6 sweaters? No, that's the name of the pattern.
This is the name of the pattern.
Sweater number 6.
I'm holding 2 strands of sport weight and a strand of mohair together, and I'm knitting it on a 10.75 needle. So,
that's right. The whole conversation we had about 6 millimeter or 7 millimeter.
It's growing slowly.
Mm-hmm.
It needs 23 sets of raglan increase.
And set row.
And set row.
Increase and set row.
Yeah. So
how many do you think you're through?
I am down to 8 or 9 sets to still do.
All right.
So
that's getting there, but every row gets longer. So every other row gets longer.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I darned socks.
Oh.
So Carol gave me grief because I was wearing 2 different socks, and I'm like, I have several pairs of these smart wool socks that I bought a long time ago before the shop opened, and at least one in every pair had holes in it. So I'd wear mismatched socks.
I mean, come on.
And then I was like, ooh, I could darn them. I have sock yarn and a needle, and
you have the power.
I have the power. I don't have a darning egg.
Do you really need, I guess, to keep the shape?
Yes, actually, it helps.
We don't carry darning eggs.
We don't. And as I was surfing Pinterest looking at darning, ways to darn socks, there was hey, if you don't have the darning egg, use a light bulb. And I was like, light bulb. And so
now,
I did.
Is that only for like heels and toes? Like
Heels and toes, but it also keeps everything spaced when you're weaving back and forth, because basically...
Oh, you could do it too tight.
It holds everything in place.
And my dad gave me a book about fixing things, and like you already knew how to do stuff like that.
As I was looking through Pinterest, there's like a new method of going and doing loops and loops and loops and loops and loops. And I tried that on one of my heels, and I don't like it. I don't like the texture.
Oh, was it loops like to actually put back in knit fabric?
Close, kind of. But, like, I found an old 1950s flyer on Pinterest of, like, okay, you want to darn your socks. Get your darning eggs, stuff it in there. And then you basically go back and forth. And then on your going this way, you catch the ends of the stitches and you basically weave the yarn up and down through the ladders
I need to see it because I'm not a verbal person.
Yeah.
I'll
show you.
Right? Yeah.
So some of them...
that sounds like weaving, but maybe more than weaving.
It's weaving, but you're catching all the little pieces of the knitting that are going to suck
the edges?
Up. The edges.
The edges of the whole.
Yeah.
Okay.
So these are two of my best.
An intentional usage of a different color.
Yeah.
That's the book that my dad gave me was about like having your mending show on purpose.
Yeah.
But doing something fun with it, like an alternate color.
And I'm cool with having mending showing. I've been doing it on my dresses for a while.
And honestly, it sucks. It's not like unless you show the bottom of your foot to someone.
No. And some of them I just reinforced because they were getting thin, and some of them I actually like. This one was. It wasn't a hole per se, just it was getting really thin.
Yeah, my socks, which are store-bought, not smart wool, I have just chucked when they get holes.
Yeah.
But I think if I had hand knit socks, I would mend them.
I found that like I have thinner store-bought socks that have holes in them, but the mending really worked best with the thicker. The thicker socks, because there was more to run my sock yarn, which is thicker than this sock yarn, through them. So I mended.
That's awesome.
Socks.
What else?
I made pot holders.
Oh, so you weren't sick of pot holders after making them for your family?
No, not really.
I'm so gnomed out right now.
So these two I got out of a ball of Yana XL.
Uh-huh.
I did them on a 19 needle because that's what I found. The littler ones took like 5 minutes. The big one,
like
maybe 10. And these two, and I'm gonna have you feel them. These
they're
two
like sturdy.
are Lannis Quick.
Oh, I see. I recognize
this
colors
one
now.
is holding 3 strands of Lannis Quick. No, 4 strands of Lannis Quick.
Which is a light, super bulky
size 19 needle, and this one's 3. And I actually like the feel of the 3 better than the 4. Like it's more.
Yeah, there's a little more pliability to the 3. Yeah.
So, I just used up scrappy yarn, and the reason this one's 2 different colors is because I ran out of the blue and was like, oh look, I have more pink.
But that one,
so this one I used
the blue and the
pink
pink all the way through.
So
I like how with the 4, I just like how different colors hold it up at different colors popped out at different times.
Yeah.
The idea of marling, that's part of what happens is you don't know which color is going to become dominant on which stitch. It's kind of fun.
And I would, if you're gonna do wool pile holders out of the Lannis Quick in 3 strands, I'd recommend 3 strands. It didn't take very much at all. It was like I had like little balls and was just like wee
wee.
So made pile holders. That was fun. And then
But wait, there's more.
I'm going to show off this one before I show off the other 2.
All right.
So this is my Catching Fireflies Ranunculus. And I got the torso done. So all I have to do is sleeves.
Awesome. And so there's 2 different colors of yarn in this.
Mm-hmm.
And you just started kind of every few rows? Or like did you pick specific rows as you changed?
As I got into the flowers.
The flowers, yeah.
Yeah, I started going every couple of rows, and then did some every other stitch in here, and then I went all green, and then I was like, ooh, I want to do the little pull-throughs. So those are green
now,
with the pull-through being
what is
the
your
catching
plan
color.
for the sleeves?
Just straight green.
Okay.
I'm not going to do any more.
How long are you going to do sleeves?
I'm going to probably do long sleeves.
Awesome.
Yeah, so...
It's a warmer ranunculus,
It's
right?
a warmer ranunculus, and because I'm doing it on a size 11 needle, I am doing the first size. So I'm
so
doing the smallest size. So, I mean...
Potentially snug.
Yeah,
but it's on an 11, so...
Well, I mean, it's not very much wider than I am anyway. So I finished that. And then I got all the color work and the hems done on my Bizzle sweaters. Yay.
I love how your torsos are so short on your sweaters. It's like sleeve separation. I'm done.
Pretty much.
I'm on to the sleeves.
Like Jan was like, "Are you done with the whole sweater?" And I was like, "No, I still have the sleeves to do it." And those are going to take way longer than the 4 inches of
right
of torso. So yeah. So this is the red one, and I don't even think I need to block them.
I think only if you wanted it to lie a little flatter, but that one that you just put down is out of Sugarbush Rapture, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And
which
the
is a yarn we have very little left of. So.
The green is Sugarbush Rapture as well. So like those two sweaters are non-repeatable.
Yeah.
And then
Sugarbush went out of business.
This is my blue and pink one.
And that is...
It is Apothecary. And
I was about to say French Froofy yarn, but no, it's Apothecary. Okay.
And then Cascade Eco Merino.
And there was a skein here.
Yes, there's a skein here because I might need another skein. I do.
Yeah, and we're not necessarily reordering the Eco Merinos and Eco all those. We like them, but potential rumor that we're not sure how much longer Cascade's going to carry them, but we could be wrong. So they're not necessarily, they're lovely yarns, but they're not necessarily big sellers for us.
Okay.
So, and there's a massive amount of yarn in one skein, but again, they're not really big sellers for us. So we have to make some decisions, right? And things like that.
Wanted to get sleeves on needles, but talked to my brother on Saturday night and that didn't happen. And then, Sunday and Monday
Yeah,
I
but
had
you were doing important
dread,
stuff. It's all good.
Yeah. So I feel like
All right.
I didn't accomplish a lot, but I did.
You did. That's a lot. I mean, considering, like, we don't have much time other than when the shop is open. Like, I feel like everything's going to grind to a halt, and we're going to get little bits and pieces done. So, I'll go through what I worked on and first of all, the first thing I was doing the first couple days I was out in Illinois was finishing up those gnome cup cozies, so that at least there were 6 to pick from for my family.
Yes.
And I don't have those to show because they're with my family. So, but I did finish them.
How did the gnomes go over?
The gnomes went over fantastically. Oh my gosh. Like, they were super excited, and they were like, "Oh, they're so thoughtful and so detailed, and this is amazing." And my brother-in-law had half a thought of, like, he really wants to start a brewery. He's been planning this for quite some time. Not sure if it's feasible. He brews beer, and he wins some competitions and places at other competitions. And he had half a thought of calling his brewery the Bearded Gnome because of the gnome I gave him. But then he's worried about copyright with the gnome that I made because it's someone else's pattern, if he wanted to use it as, like, an icon. And I was like, I think as long as you give credit, it's fine. And then we never talked about it again. So I don't know. But that would be cool, right? So I finished those, and then, let me see. I'm trying to do this in a certain order. And then I was like, it's going to be cold in Illinois. I should make gloves. I have finished one glove, and I have not sewn any of the ends in. But this was what I started this when I went to get my hair cut. So this is a ball of Fiber Fairy, which is an indie dyer local to us. And most of what she dyes is non-repeatable, or, it'll be close but not the same. And this is a skein of yarn that I got when she did a trunk show here. We carry her yarn. Can you twist the rack so we can see some of her yarn? It's mixed in with some other stuff. So the colors that kind of look like this, the brighter poppy colors, you know, the more fluorescent-y looking colors. We're not going to have a color that's exactly the same as this, though. But this was really cool. I got on my finger things.
You're a marionette.
I started the second one last night, but I finished one. I was going to just, like, sit down and bust out a second, and then I'm like, I don't want to put expectations on myself and not enjoy my break. So the pattern is char, because I just wanted a basic glove, like, with actual fingers, because what is really popular right now is fingerless. But I wanted actual fingers, and if I'm going to make a glove, I'm going to do it out of fingering weight, because I've done it out of thicker yarn, and I call my monster mitts. So it was really hard to find a pattern that was just basic and looked good. And I think I really like this pattern. A couple of things that intrigued me about this pattern. First of all, it's got slip stitches on it on the palm, the hand, so that kind of breaks up the variegated yarn, which was fun. The pattern has a picture of a tonal, like our 4-ply, our Vivacious 4-ply, which would look really cool in this too. I can't stop pulling on the little stringies. But the other cool thing, like the only thing that doesn't seem to fit perfectly is the thumb, but everyone's thumbs are shaped differently down here. The other thing I liked about it is it makes you shape the pinky and then knit a few more rounds of the hand before you do the other fingers.
Which is nice because your pinky sits a little bit lower than the other.
This fits really, really well. I think. It fits really, really, like it looks a little lumpy because I've got my rings on. But I like just that little, instead of just stopping at the top and putting the fingers in. There's a little more shaping to it. It's from a collection of knits meant for guys, but, you know, unisex. It's all good. It's a really neat collection. I will put the link in the description. So I've just started the second one, and this is Fiber Fairy sparkly yarn, by the way. It might not be picked up on camera, but it's sparkly. So that's one thing. In terms of finishing, I finished a glove. I finally hunkered down and made good progress. I got a skein and a half done on my Billie pullover, which is getting me ready for our January knit along, which I have options for. I'll get to that if I can today. But
that looks so
it was cool. I went till I ran out of my third skein. I got to sleeve separation and then a good 5.5 inches down. And I can't try it on right now because it's not on stitch holders, but if you check out my Instagram, you can see when I was a few inches shorter than this. I was just maybe an inch past sleeve separation. I tried it on. It's so squishy and wonderful, and I am just using, it's a riff on a classic Aran sweater. It's got the honeycomb on the front and back and on the sleeves. I can't wait to finish this one, where it is so cozy, and it's going to be a much more form-fitting sweater than like the one I'm currently wearing. Has a lot of positive ease in it. I think that one's not going to have as much, but I think it's going to be lovely. Lovely, lovely. I'm super excited about this. But I wanted to, I could have just worked on this, but I tried to spread it around a little bit. I got just a few rows done on my pressed flowers. I was excited to maybe dive into this, and then I got distracted on other things. And I wasn't in Illinois for as long as I was before. And also at home I was trying to get some rest. So my pressed flowers, I'm just starting to really finally change colors on. This is one of the things I'd like to do as a knit along. Maybe I think I put it on the tentative schedule in April. It's really fun if you want a mosaic project and you haven't tried one before. And there are options for a hat and a cardigan if you're not a shawl person. So that was kind of fun. And then I switched gears. I started working on this on the travel home, and I figured I wanted to give one of my deep timeout shawls some love and attention, and I finished it this morning. I'm really super excited. This is my Scottish Highlands shawl.
That looks
I finally got to the lace at the bottom, and whoop! I made the smaller version of this. And if you remember way back when I started this, I'm lifting it up just so it's over the microphone.
I'm just pulling it out to see the lacework.
Yeah. So when I started this, we picked... you yanked down, I'm like, ah! When I started this, like, I still have to block it. I just finished binding off today. When I started this, we picked the Fiber Space Vivacious 4-ply in...
Tweed.
Yes. I took a breath. This is what happens when I take a breath. I didn't forget. I was getting there. Tweed Imps and Dovestone. Because we were thinking it'd be kind of like a Scottish tartan, kind of. And the Rocky Moor Highlands. This lace, I don't know if it really shows up on camera. It's going to be awesome when it's blocked. And it was really fun to do. There were like 4 or 5 charts to follow to get through that. But one of the reasons I'd been in deep timeout was that up until that end part is very repetitive. And it's just knitting in increases. And a little bit of eyelets where you see the lighter color stripies. And so I got bored. And I scrolled to something else. But I finished it! I'm so excited! Yay!
It looks so cool.
And I had this much left of each skein. I made the smaller size. If there's 2 size options, I made the smaller size. I want to say I probably have at least a quarter of each skein left. I might have had enough to make the bigger size, but I also wanted to be done and move on. So, y'all know I like to show off pre and post blocking, so I will do my best. I have no idea how hectic this week is going to be. We had a lot of sales come in.
We did.
So I will do my best to get that blocked and show it off. Maybe I will get it blocked this weekend and show it off next Tuesday with the Project Progress. What Tuesday has become Project Progress Day, really, for us. So, one thing before I dive into stories of travel, because oh my gosh, I wanted to mention our attempt at a January knit along. You can tell I love cables, right? And my thought, we'll see how this goes. It's something new and different. I mean, last January was our first knit along, and our knit alongs are just more community. We're all doing the same thing. We're all trying a project out. There's no giveaways. There's no fee to participate. If you need assistance, there are fees for lessons, that kind of thing. But we don't have the enticements of, ooh, you're going to win stuff or you're going to get stuff. It's just, it's something for the community that wants to participate to give you inspiration for something to do.
Or all be working on kind of the same.
Yeah. And for some people, that's awesome. For some people, it's like, I don't get it. So, they're not mystery knit alongs or crochet alongs. I don't like doing the mystery stuff. My tentative thoughts for this year are, I already told you about the press flowers in April. I want to pick a sweater for later in the year that has like a colorwork yoke. Excuse me. I think that would be really fun to do. I have not narrowed in on that. I have thoughts, but I don't want to necessarily just pick a sweater I want to work on. I'd like to pick one that's popular or like multiple people would want to work on. The problem is when I ask for suggestions, everybody wants something different. So, ooh, the rain just picked up outside. Fun.
Yay.
Here is the experiment for January. The experiment for January is late last year, Tin Can Knits published a whole collection called Lazy Sunday that has a bunch of cable stuff in it. And it's a variation on the idea of a knit along in that it's pick something from the Lazy Sunday collection. We'd love if you don't have yarn to buy it from us, but we're not going to force that as a way to participate. Because again, there's no reward for doing that. We appreciate when you buy yarn from us. A lot of people have been doing stash diving, things like that. So I've already made 2 things from the collection. There are small things and there are big things in the collection. I figure in some ways there's hats and gloves and shawls and sweaters, and I figure it's some way for people to engage with cables, but not be pigeonholed into only one thing. So I still haven't figured out what I'm making from the collection since I've already made some stuff. I think I'm going to do one of the shawls. I've been doing a lot of sweaters lately, and I'm already doing a cabled sweater, right? There's some really pretty cabled sweaters. They're not as intense as the one I'm doing. They more have one down the center or some in the yoke, or I think they're awesome choices. So this is the Westerly hat, and this has some braid cables and some regular cables in it, which I think is really fun. There's 2 hats in the collection. There are 2... There's at least one set of fingerless mittens, and I like that this has some texture. I'm trying to remember what this one was called. Something with a T. I can't remember right now. I'll put it in the description. But it's got cables on the other side that look like the antler type cables and the twists. And there's a rhythm and method to it. And it's that style that I really like, where you can have it up or you can have it folded down for more functionality. I think I'm going to be doing a class for local people. I'm going to be doing a class on these. I really should have the class schedule up, and I don't yet. I am trying to get my rest in, and then kind of getting a little bit of a cold from travel back home has put a damper on my getting things done list. So I'm going to be working this week on getting getting things up on the schedule. It could mean that I delay things a little bit. My thought about knit-alongs this year is that we're going to knit and crochet alongs. I haven't picked a crochet one for this year. We'll see if we squeeze one in. There's only going to be maybe 3 or 4 this year. Getting in the rhythm last year of trying to start one every month was like getting a little intense, and overwhelming me. So we're going to scale back and not do as many, but that means there's more time. I mean, none of them had a deadline where it was like, no, I have to finish. All of them were meant to be open-ended, and there are still people making ranunculi, and that's awesome. So, so that's the thought is that we're going to have, like, this one has a lot of options for January. February is going to be an unofficial finish it February, like just work on projects that aren't finished yet. And let's see what we can get done. April is going to be pressed flowers. Maybe like July or something, maybe August because that's our anniversary is going to be some kind of colorwork yoke sweater is my goal. And maybe one more. And if we can throw a crochet along in there somewhere, we'll do it. But there's a lot of things to juggle between the shop and the YouTube channel and other things. And so we're trying to find a balance between everything. So
I might see how many projects I can start in January. And then how many
of
them I can finish
in February? Oh my. Okay. Fun. Maybe. I don't know. So, I'm looking at the time, and we're
running out, aren't we?
Well, we've got like 12, 13 minutes till the shop opens.
Yeah,
we've got a lot to do. So guess what? We're gonna hold off on the travel stories. I'm sorry. Maybe some of you are waiting for these lovely travel stories. I'll do them Thursday, and then with whatever time. That's why I wanted to go through projects today. Thursday is also our Dear Becky and Lizzie, so if you have questions for that, you can also write in questions, and I'll start with travel stories because I have them on both coming and going, and then we will answer any questions that come up. So if you want to do that,
email liz@sundragonartandfiber.com.
We'll find ways to fill the time. You know,
we already have one.
So. Okay. So, I mean, send more, and we'll kick them down the weeks. We will get to them. But I promise you stories. I feel like it was more important to talk about the knitting today, but there are still stories. So, entertainment. Woohoo! So, and tomorrow we will get back on track with products of the week. We'll try to put something on sale. We had a couple of different sales over break, which means we have a lot of orders to fill, and I need to check notes on them, and so many things going on. That that's why we're gonna pull the plug on this episode right now. So we have sit and stitch tonight. We're back to doing virtual sit and stitch. Hopefully I won't be dead after today, or we'll do what we did on the Friday, and I'll just let someone else be in charge and and try to be quiet, which doesn't really work for me. So that reminds me of, I'm not going to talk about it right now, but I had a whole argument / discussion / whatever about whether I'm an introvert or extrovert with my sister. It was very fascinating. So yeah. Anyway, if you want to hear about that, make a comment. So last minute things. So sit and stitch tonight on Zoom, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern time. Get in with the shop phone number
828-877-3550.
And we'll have one again on Friday. Viking t-shirt pre-orders. We still need a few before we can place the order. Thanks to everybody who has been ordering them. If you want a Viking t-shirt, one of those I came, I saw, I pillaged, which could be representing online purchases, in-shop visits, just being a member of the community, please go to our website and pre-order your shirt, because we cannot put that order in motion until we have the minimum number of shirts, and we're still only about halfway there. So don't wait until we order, because we won't be able to order unless enough people buy them. Pre-order. If all that makes sense. So order yours today. And what else?
Like, subscribe, ring the bell, all the fun stuff.
Yes, we've been inching up. We're at 1340. We're almost to 1350. The next sale is not going to be until 1,500 subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed yet and you enjoy our company, please subscribe. At least give us a like or a comment or something to help YouTube say, oh, these guys might be kind of cool. And we will talk to y'all later. All right. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.